Hello, Scorpio gang, Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading. Please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something or better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate for you, that's totally fine. Feel free to push them aside. They may resonate for you at a later date. Above all else, trust your own intuition to separate what messages are meant for you and the ones you can release. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is, of course, optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. That being said, let's get you some helpful, insightful messages, all right? Let's do it, Scorpio. Page of Pentacles. There might be some issue that comes to the forefront regarding a child for those of you who are parents, or you may be the child in a dynamic where you need to approach your parents about something. I feel like that's just kind of a offhanded message in itself, or not offhanded, but like sideline message. May feel like you're not being heard or not being seen or acknowledged by a child or by a parent. It could go either way. And yeah, it's like someone here is very defensive and not wanting to hear what you have to say or vice versa. But with the Page of Wands, I think someone is going to break the ice and be more open. And, you know, it gets warmer from Swords to Wands. It's like someone is more keen to listening or opening up their mind to sort of, you know, at least listen or maybe accept some sort of truth that you're sharing with them. And I don't know, it might be about your work, but it might also be about your identity and who you are. For some of you, your child may come out to you, or vice versa. You may come out to your parents. And obviously, it doesn't have to be that. It's not going to be that for everybody. But metaphorically, it's like shining your light and showing this person who you are, and hoping and wanting them to accept you. Whether they do or not, I mean, I hope they do, but whether they do or not, yeah, absolutely. It's about standing your truth and knowing that, like, this is your battle to fight. So you're going to stand strong. You're going to stand your ground and be like, this is who I am. So you're going to accept me or you're not, but like, I'm not changing. And in this case, I actually really like it, especially with this Cancerian energy. It's almost like that idea of staying in your shell too long and being a little bit hidden away, or not shining your light as bright as it could, almost like sacrificing who you are, I don't know, for other people, for family, for something like that. It's like now it's like warrior mode. It's like the gauntlet has been thrown down. It's like, this is who I am and I'm going to run with it. So I really like that. That feels like a very separate message. So that may come through in the reading, but for some of you, you just needed to hear that. It's like you have the universe's seal of approval to go through with that and like, yeah, absolutely own who you are because you're awesome, right? You know that, Scorpio. I don't need to tell you that. All right, let's start in the middle here. 6 of Swords. So moving forward with some sort of important conversation, you have some sort of epiphany or light bulb moment regarding some sort of passion or something you want to manifest in this lifetime, something that you want to bring to light. So it could be a topic of conversation that you want to shed some light on. And do keep in mind, it doesn't have to be with this parent-child dynamic we spoke about. It could be that you have some really like insanely creative idea that you're pitching to your boss or a company or uses. Yeah, it's like something's lighting your fire and it's like you're off and running. You're feeling very inspired and motivated with that Ace of Wands to move forward with this idea and talk about it. And I really like that. I don't know why I'm saying this, but with the 7 of Wands, it's like, just be careful that you're not sharing this like very virginal idea. You know, if it hasn't quite found its footing, or it hasn't, more or less, if it hasn't been trademarked yet, maybe don't share it with the whole world because it might be so innovative and creative that it's like it's your baby. So only share it with the people that you view as necessary in order to move that project, you know, forward. So, you know, a mentor or someone that you really trust. And I don't have to tell Scorpio this. Again, classic Scorpio vibes. It's like, you know, some things are meant to be a secret until you're fully ready to share them. Some of you're absolutely ready to, you know, hit send, hit publish. You're going to publish that book. It's going to be great. With Knight of Cups, it's going to be very emotionally fulfilling. Others of you, it's still like the seed is still germinating. So there's this idea you have. And with Swords, there is conversation taking place. For a lot of you, it's more mental energy and mental focus of like journaling about it or mapping it out or, you know, calculating the figures. Others of you, again, there's conversation going back and forth, but I'm going to say with a limited amount of people. I just get the idea that it's something it's very innovative. So you don't want to be sharing it with the whole town, right? You get what I'm saying. Others of you, it feels like there's a new sexual connection in your life and you are on it. Like, I don't want to say it's booty call per se, but it's very much established that this is like a heavy, passionate romantic connection, and then there's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of like sexting, to be honest. But there's also that like, hey, come over right now. Like there's definitely for some of you like a steamy relationship that is like, I want to say in the works, but I mean for some of you it's flat out here, like you're actively engaging in that. That's just a message coming through. It might be with an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let's see, what else? And so for some of you, there's a couple messages here. This Five of Wands can be very conflicted energy. So it can be kind of fighting, but it can also be sort of an internal struggle of like, I really enjoy this and I like this, but it's not necessarily in alignment with what my heart wants. And I'm not necessarily saying that's connected to this really sexual, passionate connection you have here, but for some of you over time, it may develop into something that's purely sexual. And so in which case you may start to feel like you have to put up the blockers or be a little bit more choosy about when you want to engage in that, because there may be some sort of alternative option that comes in where you are sort of at this fork in a road of like, okay, well, if I'm going to start spending time with this new water sign or whatever, or this new fire sign, you know, is it right? Is it fair to be engaging in you know, another romantic relationship if the cards haven't been put on the table, right? So with the Ace of Swords, clarity, honesty, transparency is always good advice. I'm always going to tell you that. And for some of you, you're kind of feeling out different connections and seeing, you know, where they go. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm excited for this connection because I think it could be a really nice outlet to relieve some stress and have fun and let your hair down and, you know, engage in that intimacy. Nothing wrong with that. Love that energy for you. I'm just saying to some of you, over time, this may lose its sort of honeymoon phase of, oh my God, like hot sex, it's so great, yada, yada, yada. And it may again turn into this thing where this becomes sort of like this person from the past who messages you occasionally, you know, to do that one thing. And then you're kind of like, oh, like I'm feeling some type of way about this because, you know, my better judgment, my better instincts say that maybe it's become more of a sex thing and there's no real future in it. And so there may be like this kind of conflicted, I want to, but I know I shouldn't, or something about this may factor in with children too. Like it could be that you are a single parent and again, match with somebody who has declared themselves a person who like, I never want to have kids. I don't want the responsibility, blah, blah, blah. And again, so like if you can compartmentalize it, is that the right term? And be like, okay, this is what it is. It's never going to be a long-term, you know, relationship, but it's an outlet and it's healthy and we know what it is and that's fine. But I also see you having sort of conflicting dynamics about, you know, but this person doesn't respect me and they don't really view that side of me that, you know, I'm a parent or I'm this or I'm that, or I don't know. I see something about children may come into the, how do I say this? Issues regarding the children may sort of impact other decisions you're making in terms of your romantic life. I think that's the best way I can phrase it. Also, for some of you, it's just sort of remembering what you sort of idealized as a child in terms of what you always saw yourself or who you always saw yourself being with. And it's not about being like on cloud nine, daydream, unrealistic expectations. I think for some of you, you start to realize that you can do better. Like as fun and as passionate as this is, it's almost like that moral compass of self-respect, or I deserve to be treated like a prince or a princess or whatever you want to say. I know that's a little bit cringe for some of you. Like I get that. But it does kind of have to do with this idea of like wanting to be respected more in a relationship and not just treated like a piece of ass. Sorry, right? I have to point it out. All right. Anyway, that's one message. And I don't mean to rain on anybody's parade. There's certainly other messages here. And for some of you, this is just a or I should say a welcomed change in your life and an exciting new relationship. So absolutely ride that high, ride that wave, see what happens, right? Some of you may also be conflicted about your children's dating life too. So some of the messages that I've already given to you, if that doesn't resonate for you on a personal level and you know your child is like dating and maybe like a little bit young, a little bit naive, a little bit wet behind the ears, they're not as naive as you think. I'll say that. But yeah, there's definitely like a strong sexual connection in that area. So you may come in and be like, wait a minute, who's this guy? Like, where'd you meet him? Like, why is he coming to this thing with you? Like, I don't know. I see that being a thing for some of my Scorpios. All right, let's see. So someone made an offer to you, either a job or a romantic prospect. Doesn't really matter what it is because the message still stands. Someone made you an offer and you didn't trust it, or something about it, the timing wasn't right, but you still like can't keep your mind off of it. There's like this, you always go back and it's like the shoulda, coulda, woulda, or, did I misjudge the situation? Like, I think there's a lot of like back and forth in your own head. Again, this conflicted Five of Wands of like, when they made that offer, it didn't seem genuine and I don't get it. I think they're coming back around though. I'm getting a couple of these messages here. Can I get one for, just let me figure this out 1 second. You seem to be suspicious of an offer and didn't take advantage of it. And I see regret there. But so here's the thing. This person, this entity, whether it was a job or a romantic partner or, wannabe romantic partner, they made an offer to my Scorpio gang, and Scorpio was like, nah, pass, I can't. Or you just didn't even message them back. If it was on a dating app, it was like, oh, fuck no, like I'm moving on. They went on to pursue something with someone else, but that has currently stopped. And so I don't think this is a bad thing, but I think they're going to circle back around and make you a better offer. So it could be that there's more money involved. If it's a business thing, it's like they brought someone on board who didn't have the same good qualifications that you had or whatever. It's like they tried to penny pinch and like, oh, well, Scorpio doesn't want the job anyway. Let's hire, someone who's, 5 years, less experience. And then they immediately regretted it. They're like, oh, this isn't working. Others of you, that translates in a dating romantic sense where I'm not sure you're even privy to this information. That's why tarot is so cool, because now you know. It's like someone may have been pursuing you romantically, and again, you were, putting on the brakes. You're just like, no, I don't think I want this. They went off and dated someone else, and I will say they've matured a little bit, but they ended up with a person that they still are not super satisfied to be with. And so I think they're going to come back around and see if you're interested. I don't even know if it's a second time, because I don't get the idea that you necessarily connected with them on any sort of intimate level. It's like you totally judge the book by its cover. Sorry, that's the best way I can put this. But the thing is, I'm not saying they're a changed person. I think they still want to be with you. I think I hate to say they used this person, but it's almost like this may have been sort of a, what do you call it, when you're trying to get over someone, like a rebound. But even after that, they still keep thinking about you, like you're the one they want. So however this translates, you're wanted by someone. I'm just sort of confused why you didn't want to partake. And I'm sure you have your reasons, right? I mean, there's always going to be people you don't like or you don't jive with. The Ace of Wands, though, it's like there's something about it that's exciting. But maybe you felt like you weren't passionate enough about it, or maybe with the Six of Swords, you felt like you were being pulled in another direction at the time. So if this person, this offer comes around for a second time, part of me feels like that's a sign that maybe you're supposed to see what's there. The Lovers. Yeah, you got a big decision to make then, don't you? You may have a Gemini in your life that's kind of in and out, in and out. Yeah, I think you're going to move forward with whatever this is. I think it's sort of that idea of the connection that could have been with the Lovers. And it doesn't have to be literally the Lovers, but it's two people who it's like the universe is trying to bring them together, but they've got a mountain between them, right? So it does indicate a relationship where there's obstacles. It's not this like easy peasy walk in the woods relationship. It's like, with the King of Swords, maybe you have to negotiate, maybe you have to really open up the channel of communication and express yourself in a way that maybe isn't always the most comfortable. You have to be really real and honest and authentic with what you're looking for here. For others of you, it's that negotiation of like, yeah, I want to work with you, but not for that salary. So like, what else are you going to give me? Like, it might be just that really honest, unflinching, asking for what you need. And essentially then the ball's in their court. Either they're going to deliver or they're not. I think this person wants to work with you, and so maybe the negotiation is on your part. Maybe you asked for that salary you wanted and they just couldn't do it, but they came back around to say, hey, we're still interested, so if anything in your life changes, let us know. Maybe there's a little wiggle room on both your ends. I do think something's coming back around for a reason, and while it's pages and knights initially, there is something about the hierarchy, like it does get better. Then it kind of comes to this King of Swords energy where there's a little bit more enthusiasm about this role or this relationship or whatever it is. It might be with a a male air sign, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but it doesn't have to be. The Hermit, Virgo. Some of you are just like soul searching. I feel like I give you this message all the time, Scorpio. I can remember saying it to you in the last couple of videos. It's like this, every person I meet, it just like fizzles. I'm just getting this idea from you. It's like no one is ever good enough, or no one ticks all the boxes. No one meets my high standards, although you don't think they're high standards. But it's like, I don't know if it has to be with being more open-minded. For some of you, it's you have something or someone from the past that you've put on a pedestal, and like in every new connection, you're hoping to reawaken what you felt, but it's like, it's almost like you're hoping to reinvent that person in another form. I know that doesn't totally make sense, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. I just get this idea of sentimentalizing the past, and that's holding you back. It's like, by putting, your ex or whoever, on a pedestal and then moving forward to find a new relationship, it's like you're self-sabotaging in ways you don't even realize. It's like a weight. I'm just getting, it's like a heavy weight. Some of you, like once and for all, need to clear the air with an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I don't know if that's for good, for bad, whatever it is. It could be going through divorce, signing divorce papers. It could be sending that, that text or making that phone call to the person that, it feels like they're the one that got away. It's almost like we're seeking closure and clarity once and for all, with very much an air sign for most of you. And why not? Why not ask for that clarity? Because you're no better off than you are now. If you're feeling confused or conflicted, yeah, you're going to be vulnerable and put yourself out there, but then you'll know, and you don't have to look back and be like, I'm so confused and I don't know what that meant or how they felt, or if, you know what I mean? I think for a lot of you, there's like this really bold, I'm seeing a chessboard. There's this really bold move to like, play your piece and see what happens, see what results you get from it. Because for most of you, it's like, I think the peace of mind or clarity or the pride behind it, and I mean that in a good way, stepping up and asking for what you want, there's going to be like a really good feeling that you walk away with, that you're living your truth, essentially. Some of you may be deciding between a fire sign and an air sign, especially for those who are casually dating. I think the majority of you are going to go towards the air sign. Any other messages for Scorpio? I definitely see lots of flirtation and texting back and forth. Air signs, holy air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, all over those Scorpios. They're around you, Scorpio. I'm just letting you know, those Gemini, Libra, Aquarians. A lot of fast, racy, sexy messages, I was going to say nudie pics. That sounds so old. Nudes? I don't know. What do you young people call them nowadays? I'm not even that old. I'm just out of the game. What can I say? The moon. Yeah, there's a lot of sexual activity here. Maybe with a Pisces, you have a couple card of Pisces coming through. Oh, but then there's anxiety. What? I think this is someone who has like, I don't want to say obsession, although that probably wouldn't bother you anyway. Someone who's like kind of obsessed with you, and I don't mean that in like an unhealthy way, guys, right? Like, I'm not trying to be a irresponsible tarot reader here. Like, obviously, if there's something toxic or abusive or something like that's, heavy, obviously you shouldn't pursue it. But I do feel like there's a person who, they're already in communication with you. And again, like with Page of Cups, it's like they want to make you an offer, but they're worried about rejection, or they lose sleep over you because they like you so much and they want to be a part of your life. I feel like we've already made that message clear. And for some of you, that's you. It's like you really want to reach out to that person and say that thing that you always wanted to say. And I'm going to say, you should. You have nothing to lose. Roll the dice, Scorpio. Life goes on, right? It's almost self-sabotage you to keep that energy inside you, like, because it's like festering it. Like, it needs to breathe. It needs to be up and out in the air and in the open. And then if it doesn't work, you move on. And here's the thing. You have new matches all around you. This isn't like my life is over if this one person, rejects me. You have a lot of other people interested in you. Others of you, again, like this this nice little cozy couple and dating and hot sex and all that. Just be careful that it's not taking a toll on your health. And I mean that in terms of like, spending all your time with this person and not having enough sleep, or, when you're like, when you're first getting to know someone, well, I shouldn't say all of you, but you eat out a lot, right? So you're off your regular eating schedule. You're not exercising. You're not going to the gym as much as you used to. There is something to be said for your own health, and make sure that your relationship isn't taking priority over your body, and sort of like, your priority should be your health and your wellness, right? And for some of you, especially with Piscean energy, that Neptune energy, that could be sort of something that is challenging you. And for some of you, that's going to be a deeper message than others. But if you have ongoing health issues, that you have a regimen and a routine, and you have to do therapy or meds or whatever it is, something about this relationship may challenge that system or that schedule. And the universe is challenging you to make sure that you choose you above all else. That's important. So I think I'm going to end with that message. But yeah, other than that, I mean, this looks like a pretty cool reading. You definitely have some challenges and some energy here, but you also have a lot of like cool things coming into you. Again, being wanted by people, whether that's romantically or for your job or whatever it is. It's a good time to network and meet the people and have those conversations about your dreams and long-term goals, because people are listening. People are showing up for you. All right, Scorpio, thanks for joining me here today. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye.